wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Air Jungle.
Good evening, and you are most welcome to Prime Television's main news. To present it, my name is Abigail Mtali. A look at the top stories. Government's decision to borrow money on behalf of Zimbabwe condemned. A civic leader in Matera constituency to use his personal resources to put up speed humps on selected roads. Government reiterates its commitments towards delivering the constitution. In international news, Boko Haram kills villagers after fleeing offensive. Well, for these and other stories, stay tuned. And now the main news in detail. Matera Ward 28 Councillor Kelvin Chilishe has announced that he will use his personal resources to put up speed humps on selected roads in his ward. Councillor Chileshe explains that roads without speed humps have become a danger to the public, as most people have continued to be knocked down by overspeeding vehicles. He says he will start with Mzilikazi Road before moving on to other roads. The councillor explains that works will resume as soon as he gets a bill of quantity from a local contractor to ascertain how much the project will cost.
Government has in the last 3 years embarked on massive road infrastructure development, but these roads have ended up being damaged in a short period of time as they lack supporting infrastructure such as speed humps and drainages. Matero constituency is not far from this scenario, as most roads in the area are without speed humps. This has forced Matero Ward 28 Councillor Kelvin Chileshe to announce that he will use his personal resources to put up a speed humps on selected roads, starting with Mzilikazi Road.
And as area council, I'm not very happy about it because these are our people. And when people complain, we need to take an action as a government. And as the area councillor, I'll take it upon myself. I put some speed humps here and there so that because as we are talking right now, we've written to RDA to help us to put up the speed humps. In as much as we appreciate that the government, the RDA, they've given us the roads, but we also need the speed humps. As you can see, the way the vehicles are speeding. The vehicles are speeding such that children here, we put bars, we put shops, so people are crossing here. So the main people who are giving us this problem are the drivers, the bus drivers.
For the residents, this is a more than welcome development, seeing that many lives have continued to be lost on this road as a result of overspeeding vehicles.
Tatacho twachilombera kuli bakansira tuba twafweko pantu road yashuka sana. Hii wiki imo bapunka abantu batatu. Masoshi bapunkire munamaye wapa so ali UTH. So lelo bapunka omwana po wa kusukuru. Mailo bapunka futi mudala po. So twamuna twashuka tuliye kuli bakansira besu. Batubikire kwa mama. Hii road ila basana busy mulando ko batikaidi abantu bale panga kwa tesho tikati kuya kuma industries so by using so chila ba difficult sana kila mwana unakuwa kurudi tulababa so bengi sana abo bafunga mulando kitapanga ma kwa ifena temwa sana panto abantu bale punkiwa ishtaneshta bapta 4 days mwachani kikashana ali hospital kuchiho tu futhi mayelo balipunko abaomephada lelo bapunko omwana wesikulu so ilingili nabana balapunkiwe isanesita but amalipoti bayempinga twathi mayemoshisata basi so lelo ninti memi ku 8 tabachira so natumira bakansela elo banda tikashina isanombayo so kushitwa totera sana mwatubikira mamps abantu balipunkiwa isanesita.
Leaders are elected to better the lives of people they serve, and this is just one community work which deserves commendation. Kala Mchima reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
And in a related development, residents of Garden Compound have used their own initiative to repair a damaged road in their area. This follows fruitless appeals to their area MP, Jean Kapata, and the Road Development Agency to have the road repaired.
Garden Compound is one of the most densely populated compounds in the city of Lusaka, but infrastructure development, especially roads in this compound, is in a deplorable state. This has forced the residents in the area to start working on some of these roads on their own. One such road, which the residents are working on, is the one which branches off from the Lusaka Water and Sewerage Company Garden Office and leads to Kwamtonyo Market. The residents organized the heaps of gravel, but they have failed to spread it on the road to make it passable. The residents have been trying to spread the gravel on the road manually using shovels and hoes. But this has proved a challenge, as most of these residents are shunning helping, demanding for something before they can render their services.
Nyumba yapya so vantu hazaenda bwanju so lomaba kuma vote nzovota kuti yayi votani zawa mnyarodi lori satu wa mijira road abachizangara bwa kuno mwandi tavutika road no drainage road nangu muntu nangu adwala so manje poti maiti kumunyamula muntu kumpeleka hospital kulipi ngwe banga munyamuli so tili mavuto watiangaleko na ife kuno kwa mtonyo.
Appeal to new minister for Lusaka province, Honorable Marite. You come and help us here in the garden. If you don't know this area we are killing, ask Prime people will show, because we engage our MP Honorable Gafai. On Monday we phone him about this road. Mamoto kanati kujomba hapa ya check ya chibuku young pass. Yina ngo mamoto ka bread ama jomba pamena hapa. Now next time donate jabe bantu ba mugade kupepa kwa wanu muntu wa mugade ni chukuru atiletera abantu. Now bafana kugwesa madodi wa demanda ba ma 30 pini bena ngo bafana ma 70 pini. Manje bakamba kuti ni dana zacho sa 70 pini.
But one of the regular callers on most radio and TV programs, who only identifies himself as Mr. Ambassador, defends government that it has performed exceedingly well since PF took over the realms of power from the MMD.
Kuchokera mu 2011 I road kateba muliro sieze soa bayonda so wabwela wa PF baipanga road city development police station city development wapanga maloti angati muno iwe wabene proud muno wapanga maloti angati niuza iwe bau yaenda huko yes kadi tubashushana neli wapanga maloti angati karapo
we ambassador in police ndise tunasonga
The residents have shown willingness to contribute to the development of the area, and it's now incumbent on their representatives to finish what they've started. Kalan Muchima, reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
And now the ruling Patriotic Front PF in Lusaka has started the Art of Party mobilization. Mandevu constituency chairman Joseph Tamba says this is to solidify the party standing in the province ahead of the 2016 general elections. Mr. Tamba explains that with time moving fast before the 2016 general elections, it is important to ensure that the party is intact at all levels. He states that in Mandevu, they are reorganizing the party from both the ward and constituency level. Mr. Tamba has since assured the party's top leadership that so far the party in the constituency is intact. Mr. Tamba said this when he met constituency and ward officials at the constituency office in Mandevu.
What we are doing, because 2016 is just around the corner, we want to organize the party. So we have called the all 7 wards at the constituency office. We want to just see physically who are those who are on the papers, because each and every ward we have got data forms in this office from ward 24. So we want to check if those 24 they are intact. We want to get prepared. Come 2016, we want to have an intact PFE in Mandevu. And let me also assure the president and the party at large that here in Mandevu we mean business. We want to show them that we are serious.
Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Boniface Chimbwali says technocrats and other stakeholders in the province have the responsibility of explaining the budget and making it understandable to ordinary people in the province. Mr. Chimbwali said government wants to shape the lives of ordinary citizens, hence the need for them to understand the budget so that they are part of the development process. The permanent secretary says once the citizenry understands the budget, it becomes easy to notice grey areas in the budget and take note of them so that they are addressed in future. Zanis reports that the PS said this when he opened a stakeholder sensitization meeting on the citizen budget organized by the Ministry of Finance and Planning in Mansa on Friday. He said it is the responsibility of each and every citizen to ensure accountability in the budget, hence the need for all to understand the budget. Government says it is committed to delivering a constitution. Lusaka District Commissioner Davison Mulenga says suggestions citing that government is backtracking on the constitution are not correct. CPT Mlenga explains that despite the huge task involved in the constitution-making process, it will work hard towards ensuring that the document is delivered before the 2016 general elections. CPT Mlenga said this in an interview with Prime Television News in Lusaka.
No one has refused to give the Zambian people the constitution. But what I personally see as an issue is the cost implication. And knowing very well that next year we are having an election, a general election, which will also need a lot of money to see it successful. The other is the voter apathy, which we often experience here in Zambia during elections. Are we capable of devising ways and methods of marshalling enough individuals, enough voters to meet the basic requirement of 59% so that the referendum qualifies? As government, we still remain committed to the desires of the Zambian people.
There has been concerns by several stakeholders on the delay by governments to release the constitution. Meanwhile, the district commissioner has directed the Zambia police to arrest anyone involved in violence. CP Mlenga says no one should be treated with kids' gloves when it comes to violence. He states that anyone found in such vices should be squarely dealt with, regardless of their political affiliation.
In fact, I will just reiterate the words that were spoken by the President, that is not condoning any violence in Lusaka and in the country as a whole. So here as Lusaka district, we are not equally condoning any violence in the city, because Lusaka city is a mirror city. People transit to and from Lusaka. They get whatever happens here and take it somewhere else. So we don't want to spoil the country because of certain bad elements amidst us. So whoever commits any wrong, the police are mandated, the police are allowed, the police are reminded to arrest and prosecute such individuals so that we can put or probably eliminate the confusion that is taking place in markets and bus stops.
You are still watching Prime Television's main news bulletin with me, Abigail Mtali. A recap of the top stories as we take a commercial break. Government's decision to borrow money on behalf of Zimbabwe condemned. A civic leader in Matero constituency to use his personal resources to put up speed humps on selected roads. Government reiterates its commitments towards delivering the constitution. We'll be right back after these commercials. Stay tuned.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries.
get that awesome crunch.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. We now continue with the news. The Foundation for Democratic Process, FODEP, has commended Home Affairs Minister Davison Mwila for talking tough on unnecessary roadblocks being mounted by the Zambia police. FODEP Executive Director McDonough Chipenzi says the minister's statement has come at the right time when Zambians are exposed to a lot of roadblocks which have become a breeding ground for corruption. Mr. Chipenzi states that most roadblocks do not serve any purpose but are only an inconvenience to the traveling public. He says the police feel that they are above the law and that they will treat motorists if the case is found against them. This week, Home Affairs Minister Davis Mwila expressed concern at a number of unnecessary roadblocks being erected by traffic police.
There is need for police officers to respect the rights of the people on the road. I think as FODEP, who are proposing and propounding democratic process and the rights of human beings to be respected, we feel that the police have been above the law, and the police have been abusing people's rights, motorist rights. And when you are allegedly accused of breaking something, the way the police officers behave is like you have stolen from their homes.
Zambian Voice Executive Director Chilufya Tayali has charged that it is not in order for governments to borrow money on behalf of Zimbabwe. Speaking to Prime TV News, Mr. Tayali says the Zambian government should be careful with the manner in which they are contracting debts on behalf of the Zambian people. Mr. Tayali said it is saddening that governments could go to an extent of contracting debts on behalf of other countries. This week, government, through Chief Government Spokesperson Chimba Kambwidi, announced that the Zambian government had contracted a loan from the World Bank on behalf of Zimbabwe to go towards the rehabilitation of the Kariba Dam. The World Bank refused to grant Zimbabwe a loan, stating that the country has no capacity to pay back the loan.
And the PF, and I emphasize the PF party, it is not the responsibility of the Zambian government to pay back. This is why we were talking about this issue of transparency in resource mobilization of the political parties, because Zambians who enter into this kind of situation where they have to pay for money that they don't understand. PF is a party, it's a party on its own. There are people who don't belong to PF. So why should they be paying for the responsibility that PF engaged in? If they borrowed money, if they got money from Zimbabwean government to finance their campaign, that is their business, and they should pay it using their resources, not to use the Zambians.
A 1x3 classroom block at Mwinilunga Primary School in Northwestern Province has been extensively damaged by a hailstorm which occurred early this week. The hailstorm, which lasted for about 15 minutes on Monday, around 15 hours, blew off 160 iron sheets from a 1x3 classroom block and further destroyed maize for the school feeding program and teaching material. Both Mwinilunga District Commissioner Irene Mate and School Deputy Head Teacher Peter Kamboi confirmed the incident in an interview. Mr. Kamboi said about 130 pupils have been negatively affected by the occurrence as classroom space has been reduced. He has since appealed to governments through their disaster management and mitigation units to come to the aid of the school. The hailstorm also left a trail of destruction, destroying property in 10 houses. Zambia National Market Credit Association's Zanamaka says having Ms. Inonge Win as vice president is a blessing to marketeers. The marketeers have also commended Ms. Winner for coming out strongly in support of the Zambian marketeers when they called on her to hear their grievances. Speaking to Prime TV News in an interview, Zanamaka President Mupila Kameya says it is the first time in the history of Zambia that a vice president has liberated the marketeers, as the past governments had very little time to pay attention to the plight of the marketeers. Mr. Kamea said this in an interview with Prime Television News in Lusaka.
As marketeers, we really appreciate looking at what recently Hahona, the Vice President, came out that should be able to support, the Zambian marketeers in terms of, capitalization. I think this has been the greatest, challenge that the marketeers have been facing, and to us is a great thing. And I think the problem of that the marketeers have been facing will come to an end, because everyone will be able to have their own capital, and of course even create more jobs for ourselves, because we believe this is the largest sector, which I believe could have been even been supported even before, because many governments have failed us, and I think this is the right direction that this government is taking.
Meanwhile, Mr. Kamea says marketeers are very optimistic about government's plan to build them better markets and clear out all the street vendors in the city. Mr. Kamea says the delay in the plan of governments to move the vendors from the streets was due to the death of the late Republican president, Mr. Michael Chilufya-Sata, and other confusions that came with it.
It's a great move, because congesting the whole town is not a good idea. But I think with the plan that government has to find suitable areas where these marketeers can trade in, it's a good thing. And of course there are certain streets which I think government should plan together with the local authority and the stakeholders in this area to work together, so that we find other better streets that can be designated for the same. But I believe that if every marketeer, every person in the informal sector is capitalized, I think that is the best.
Well, we now take our second and final break, but still ahead is sports and international news. Don't go away.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Welcome back. In international news, Boko Haram fighters have killed 21 people in attacks near the northern village of Chibok, according to a military source, as the armed group suffers major setbacks from a growing regional offensive. The rebels were fleeing a land and air offensive to clear them out of the Sambisa forest when they raided the villages of Gatamara, Makalama, and Leau, and opened fire on residents on Friday, the source said. Boko Haram fighters in many parts of Nigeria and the region are on the run after being subjected to a major military offensive on all sides by Nigeria and its neighbors Chad, Cameroon, and Niger. Nigerian warplanes bombarded Boko Haram's training camps and caches of their weapons and vehicles in Sambisa on Thursday. But when the armed group feels threatened, the civilian population often becomes a target. The security source says the fighters fleeing the Sambisa operation had taken revenge on the civilian population. At least 20 people were killed, including a police officer, in an attack by Al-Shabaab fighters on a luxury hotel in the Somali capital, Mogadishu, police sources say. The central hotel in the heart of Mogadishu was hit by 2 car bomb explosions, followed by heavy gunfire after attackers stormed into the building, police officers said. Al Jazeera has learned that the deputy mayor of Mogadishu, as well as 2 members of parliament, were killed. A government spokesman told Al Jazeera that contrary to earlier reports, the deputy prime minister was unhurt. Well, for these and other international stories, we monitored Al Jazeera.
Greece has welcomed a 4-month extension to its bailout program with the Eurozone. The reprieve was brokered at crisis talks in Brussels. The deal will be confirmed once Greece's creditors are satisfied with a list of reforms to be presented on Monday. But if the plans are not acceptable, then there's still a chance the deal will be scrapped.
I'm glad to report to you that the work that we've done over the last weeks has paid off. We have established common ground again to reach agreement on this statement. A request for extending the program needed to be underpinned by commitments from the new Greek government.
There have been protests in Libya after 3 suicide bomb attacks killed at least 45 people. Fighters claiming loyalty to ISIL say they are behind the attacks in the eastern town of Al-Qubba. British police are appealing for help to find 3 schoolgirls thought to be on their way to join the fight in Syria. The teenagers were seen at London's Gatwick airport last week boarding a flight to Istanbul. Turkish media is being used to try to contact the girls. In Syria, rebels have attacked government positions north of the city of Aleppo. Video on social media appears to show fighting near 2 villages. Al-Shabaab fighters say they're behind Friday's hotel attack in Somalia, which left at least 20 dead. 2 members of parliament are among those killed in the violence in the capital, Mogadishu. In Yemen, protesters have been demonstrating their opposition and support for Houthis. Protesters in the southern city of Ib accused the Houthi rebels of staging a coup and demanded provinces freed from their control. But also in Ib, there were counter-protests by supporters. They said they backed the constitutional declaration which dissolved the Yemeni parliament earlier this month. A protester has been killed during the latest anti-coup rally in Egypt. Several others were injured in Cairo. A fire has gutted the top of one of the world's tallest apartment buildings in Dubai. The 86th floor building is known as the Torch. Hundreds of people were evacuated as glass and metal rained down on the Marina district there in Dubai.
And finally, in sports news, Ronald Kampamba has won the 2014 MTN FAS Super League Footballer of the Year, beating Jackson Mwanza and Nyambe Mlenga, both of Zesco United, the award valued at 25,000 kwacha. Kampamba was also given a high-definition DSTV decoder. And Zesco United and Chipolopolo striker Jackson Mwanza, who top scored with 15 league goals, was presented with a check valued at 20,000 kwacha and a high-definition DSTV Explorer decoder. The award ceremony took place at Moba Hotel in Kitwe on Friday evening, while league champions were presented with a trophy and a check valued at 250,000 kwacha. Zambia under-20 national team midfielder Larry Wadia, who played for Nchanga Rangers in 2014, was voted the Young Player of the Year and walked away with 15,000 kwacha. Zesco United forward Winston Kalengo won the Most Disciplined Player of the Year, awards valued at 15,000 kwacha. Well, that sport item brings us to the end of the news, but as we go, we leave you with the headlines. Government's decision to borrow money on behalf of Zimbabwe condemned. A civic leader in Matero constituency to use his personal resources to put up speed humps on selected roads. Government reiterates its commitment towards delivering the constitution. And finally, in international news, Boko Haram kills villagers after fleeing offensive. Well, for these and other updates, visit our website, which is www.ptvzambia.com. On behalf of the production team and the news crew, my name is Abigail Mtale. Pleasant viewing.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.